Greetings to all of you, and I certainly do welcome you to this broadcast. While you're here, kindly indicate whether you can hear me and you can also see me clearly, so that I can speak for a few moments before I head back out to work. But I just popped in to share with you all. I was actually on my way to Linden this morning. It took me a while to get off the highway, so I wasn't able to join the teachers, but I'm here to speak today, and hopefully tomorrow morning, Yah willing, I'll be with you all. Because since I read or followed the news and I saw what the most idiotic Joseph Hamilton and the PPP's puppet Keith Scott had to say, I'm here. Talk PRI Manan if you can. And because we need to have this conversation. Because Joseph Hamilton and others are proving the teachers to be correct. And I tell you all of the time, from Barra Jagdeo all the way down, they lack basic human reasoning skills. It is most unfortunate that our country is being led by people who are void of the most basic abilities in reasoning. They have checkmated themselves. They've played themselves right into the hand of the Ghana Teachers Union. And I'll tell you how. So as you join the broadcast, indicate whether you can hear clearly. Some of you said you can. And I'm going to encourage teachers to continue to stand. Do not do like what you did before, because you will lose. You are in the winning position now, and I'll tell you why. So you're here. Great. And I'm just speaking, I'm not going to just address teachers here. And let me just say at the outset that I'm so grateful for Mr. Cleveland Thomas, who, unlike many others, most others or all others, took the time as a preacher to go and stand understanding the cause. That's the kind of brother I can deal with. He understands the cause. You always hear us speak to that. There's a cause. There's a reason why teachers are going onto the street. And I said this to you before, I reiterate. If ever teachers in Ghana were paid $400,000 to $500,000 per month, they would never be on the road. I can promise you that. Just an average. If head teachers were paid $700,000, $800,000 a month, they wouldn't be anywhere on the road. And the point is that they can afford to do so in reference to the administration. And more so, the administration of Ghana doesn't pay anybody. PPP, PNC, APNU, AFC, TLC, whatever you all are. Let us make it clear to all Guyanese. There is no administration. You all call them the government. The government happens to be the people. There is no administration in this nation's history that has ever paid any public servant. So the PPP doesn't pay anybody. APNU FC doesn't pay you. Please get it clear. PNC doesn't pay you. People are paid through the state funds, the treasury. We happen to pay ourselves. It is by our efforts, it is through our natural resources and otherwise, and our human resources. When we tax and so on, that's how we are paid. Please get it straight. There has never been an administration, PNC, PPP, APNU, AFC, none of y'all. You have never paid anybody. So it is not a case in which teachers are asking the PPP to pay them anything. The PPP doesn't pay you. We are teachers and parents. I'm a parent. I'm demanding that from the treasury, those responsible, you shall release on a monthly basis that which is enough and adequate to sustain the life of a Guyanese teacher with some degree of honor and value for them attached to it. We're not asking the PPP to pay anybody. The PPP doesn't pay you anything. The teacher's salary doesn't come from Freedom House. These are not the days when the drug lords would give teachers a bonus for Christmas. Remember those days? That's happening now in Guyana. And that was not their salary. It was a bonus, according to the word in the street. So how could PRI Manan, Hamilton, and all of you others involved in this battle here against the teachers of Guyana. How can y'all be so stupid? Teachers have complained through the union that what they earn is inadequate to sustain them. Now, that's a fact. I have said, have you ever noticed, those of you commenting here, please tell me if you've ever seen, on one occasion since I said what I said, that PRI Manan came in our usual, typical, juvenile, nonsensical behavior or manner. Did she come to say that it is a lie that, number one, pensioners in Trinidad and Tobago earn more than some teachers in this country? Did she say that was a lie? Because she can't refute that. An old age pensioner, some of them, most of them in the upper scale in Trinidad and Tobago, earn more than a teacher in this country. On average, a lower scale teacher. Priya couldn't deny that because she knows it's a fact. Now, they care about y'all, you know. They care about you that you have to study, you have to go through all that through CPC. And or if you do not go through CPC, you're called a trained qualified master, depends on what a temporary qualified master, TQM. But you teach nonetheless. It's not a case of if you are untrained or you train to teach different people. You all teach the same people. But you have different scales. Fine. I am saying to the PPP and to the world that in Guyana, South America, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, the richest country on the planet, in terms of per head and how much money we have, teachers earn less, in some cases, than a pensioner in Trinidad and Tobago. Secondly, did you see PRI Manan denying the fact, in any way, shape, or form, that it was a political decision made to pay teachers 6.5%, or public servants? I'm speaking to teachers here. Did she deny that? So it is a political decision to pay them 6.5. But it's wrong for there to be a political response. Okay, let me speak to you all. The teachers are complaining that they are not being paid adequately, which is an absolute fact. The cost of living has skyrocketed. And the mere fact that a teacher in the Bahamas, where I would have taught, I taught in the Bahamas and I bought 2 Mercedes-Benz. Well, I bought one, I was given the other one. And I traded, actually switched for one vehicle, my Ford Ranger truck. I had a Ford Ranger truck. I want you all to hear me carefully. I taught in Guyana, and my brother had to give me my first car, a Ford Cortina, that I used to drive to school. An old car, they call it Tetanus. When I taught in Guyana, let Priya hear me, because these elitist wannabe dogs don't understand people, the average man's life. When I was teaching in Guyana, years ago, since 1992, my brother, Errol, gave me my first car. I couldn't afford to buy a car as a teacher in this country. And it was a big thing driving a car to school. Given to me by my brother. I want to hear me carefully. When I left this country, for all the years I taught in the public school in Guyana, I couldn't buy a car. When I went to teach at a private school called School of the Nations, that's when I bought my other car, Toyota Corolla. And it wasn't a new car either. When I went to teach in the Bahamas, same profession, still a teacher, as a teacher in the Bahamas, a country that doesn't earn as much as this country. Right now, Bahamas isn't half as rich as Guyana at this moment. Guyana is the wealthiest nation in the world in reference to how many people we have. You call it per capita, meaning how many people you have and how much money you have at your disposal. This country is richer than Dubai, than Saudi Arabia, than the UK, beyond the US, beyond Kuwait. We are the wealthiest nation per person. If you put all of the money we have on the table and all of the people you have in the country, we are the wealthiest in terms of if we distribute it equally. Let that marinate for a second in your heads. And when I had to leave this country to go to the Bahamas to purchase or be able to buy my first car, a Mercedes-Benz. I also had a Ford Ranger truck. You all ever gone to East Bank? Those of you who live in the Orchard Pass Farm, right? You see Ford Ranger truck being sold there. Can I teach you buy that? Y'all talk to me. Since Priya knows that 6.5 is enough for y'all and it's illegal to fight for more, let Priya tell you which one of y'all in the school system. I wasn't a head teacher then. I didn't become a principal acting yet. As just a teacher in the classroom, trained, qualified teacher. In the Bahamas, I bought a Mercedes-Benz. I also had a Ford Ranger truck. Please tell me which teacher in Guyana could buy a Ford Ranger truck today. If you don't teach lessons like Big Boge and what's her name? Fung, who now has to teach people at many foreign face English. I'm ready for you all yet. Okay. So the teachers are saying that they are underpaid, which is a fact. Comparing their salary to any other salary in the nation. Do you remember there was a time, PRI Manan, when Haiti was attracting or seeking to attract teachers from Guyana? Haiti is the poorest country in this hemisphere. And at one time, Haitian teachers were being paid more than Guyanese teachers. Y'all think about this for a second, please, man. All you parents who want to be selfish and say teachers should go to the school and want to be political puppets, let's have this matter addressed to the detriment of your conscience. Imagine that Haiti at one time was seeking to have teachers from Guyana. I was one. They were seeking to recruit teachers from Guyana to go to teach in Haiti. Why? Because they know that our salaries were not comparable to theirs. Now, here's the point. Whenever teachers go on strike in this country under the PPP, this is what they tell you all. We are going to cut your salary. Now the threat is that teachers who are on strike face the threat, according to PRI Manan, of your salaries being cut. Checkmate, you dummy. Checkmate, dancing Priya, you've made the point. Because the truth is, the fact that a teacher can be threatened, that if you strike for 7 days or 4 days or 5 days, cutting that 5-day period out of your wage or their salary will affect you economically so much that it will drive you back to the classroom. It proves the teacher's point. You dummy. It proves that they cannot even live without 5 days of income being cut. You so stupid, it's just unapologetic. I have none. Zero regard for you, PRI Manan. You are one of the duncest ministers of education this country's ever seen. Duncest is not a word, but I use it for you. You must be at the top. The zenith of idiocy and dunceness. I'm calling all the words for Priya today. They don't exist in English, but let me use them at my disposal. You are the duncest of the duncest we've ever seen. You. Can't be most in Joe Hamilton, all y'all a set of dotards. So stupid. The fact that you could threaten a teacher in the Guyana now, in an oil-rich economy, to tell them that if you don't go to work for 7 days, we cut your pay, and that affects the teacher, makes them run back to the class, it means the person can't live without being paid for 7 days. It establishes the point that they don't live just from paycheck to paycheck. They can't live on the paycheck you give them. Do you know that when teachers in the U.S. in certain cities and states strike, they don't threaten to cut their salary? You know why? Because they can live for 6 months sometimes, on average, without being paid. For 3 months. If a teacher in this country, if the PPP knew that you could live for at least 3 to 6 months without having to be paid a salary, it means you have disposable income. Listen to me. They wouldn't threaten to cut your pay because they know they wouldn't bother you. But the fact that when they threaten you to cut your pay after 1 day some you're back to the classroom, it proves the point that you can't afford to lose $4,000 or $5,000 or $7,000. Is that not a disgrace? Priya, you've exposed your stupidity yet again. You are incapable. Not you find it difficult. You are incapable of contending with any intellectual in this country. Because you're not an intellectual yourself. And instead of you humbling yourself, sitting at the feet of wisdom, and just shutting up to learn something, you decided you're going to be the typical market rat that you are, and come out there to attack somebody with some stupid threat. Stop. You are being played. And now you've got yourself in a checkmate position. Because I say to you again, if a teacher earns $40,000 a week, it means they would have earned $160,000 a month. Okay, fine. When you put tax on that, let's say they have $120 at their disposal. I'm just saying. So they end up earning in their hand $30,000 a week. You mean to tell me that a teacher has to run back to school for $6,000 a day? Huh? They can't afford to lose $6,000 every day. Or let's say $10,000 a day. You mean to tell me that a teacher in Guyana is working for less than a skilled laborer in the construction field? You mean to tell me that a teacher in this country is working for the equivalent in many cases of a laborer in the construction field? Pray, aren't you ashamed of yourself? And the soup-drinking weaklings who surround you all. I call you black. You the black ones. You the black ones who have to come to talk and say the most despicable things about teachers. That they are uncaring and they're unkind because they're on strike. So when Nicola Tenney was Minister of Education and Priya was outside making the world a stupid noise, the teachers weren't unkind then to the PPP. According to you, all the teachers that had the right to stand. But now that it's on the other side, the teachers are uncaring. Teachers came out in the SARS-CoV-2 situation, what you call the COVID-19 situation. Teachers came out and were they given PRI Manan any risk allowance? Teachers died. Small from Linden. Douglas Gittins from Linden. Teachers died during this COVID situation. Trying to help these children in Guyana. And Keith Scott. Man, I tell you all, I am waiting for the day when Guyanese can arise and dish out the cook-up to your politicians. And I'm saying this in the most subliminal manner. I am waiting for the day when Guyanese can arise and dish the cook-up out or the curry and the dal slowly for your politicians because you all don't have a limit. You don't know how to stop your mouth from moving. Teachers went to school during COVID to cover CSEC. Priya said thank you. Priya, the dunce, said thank you. You're caring. You show that you care about our children. You went beyond for common entrance. You went beyond. Priya said that. Dunce Priya said that. Now Keith Scott is saying, y'all don't care about anybody. So when you put your life on the line during COVID, as you called it, you cared. But now that you're saying, pay me, Keith Scott said, you don't care. Keith said that you are uncaring. You're unkind because children should never be used. They're using children. So these teachers who are going on the road, do they have any children? At Dunson, Keith, you're not a dunce yourself. The teachers who go out to the streets to protest for a better wage, a better way of life, are you saying that they don't have children? Huh? Or those who have children understand the cost? Which one of these teachers you know on the street out there? Their child gets taken to school in a Land Cruiser Prado and they're like your big boys in Georgetown children, Priya and those children. Which one of them in Georgetown can say when they go home this afternoon that they see a Land Cruiser Prado, an $80 million vehicle parked in front of their house? Can you name one? While we at it, Priya, can you please disclose to the teachers who you say they're wrong? They shouldn't. It's illegal for them to strike. They have no reason to strike, and those who are going to school are nice and kind people. Can you, PRI Manan, disclose to them how many townhouses or condominiums you own? Can you disclose to them whether you have multiple properties on rent in Guyana? Can you disclose to them, Priya, your salary? Let's see how fair you are. Some teachers are wrong for going out there. Priya, please help them. Pri, help them, please, by disclosing what you earn. Not from what you rent. No, we're not talking any rental properties here. Do you have any rental properties, Priya? Can you disclose that to teachers, please? Because some teachers are renting and can't afford it. They're renting from somebody. They're tenants. Are you a landlord, a landlady, Priya? Can you disclose that, please? By the way, you're free to join me live right now. I would switch the camera on for you and invite you immediately to tell all of the teachers, all of them, what you earn as a minister in government. Tell the teachers in Guyana that you earn over 1.6, just about, or maybe more, about $2 million a month. Tell them, please. Tell them, PRI Manan, that what you earn is fair. And what they're calling for is unfair. How can you be so stupid to say that if they don't go to work, their salaries will be cut and then they run back to class? What do you think will happen? The fact that they cannot afford to lose 7, 8, 9, or $10,000 a day speaks to the fact that they have a right to go out there to strike. Because they do not have the ability to live for 3 months without being paid. Do you know how many teachers in this country have to be pleading with landlords and landladies to say, please, when I get paid, I'll pay you? Do you know what that means when a guy needs to say that to you, that they can't afford to do it before? That's what our teachers have to be faced with consistently. When I am paid, I'll give this to you. So you have just put yourself in a checkmate position, Priya, because you're that silly. You've positioned yourself to tell people that if they do not go to work very soon, their pay will be cut, which means that they cannot afford to live without 3 days or 4 days or 5 days salary, wage. Which tells you, PRI Manan, that the teachers are severely underpaid. They don't even have a saving to turn to. They have no savings, dummy. That's why if you threaten to cut their pay now, they run back to class because they can't afford to lose it. PRI Manan. All public servants should get out of this school. I hope that the GPSU is watching this. Patrick Yard, I don't know what it takes you to act as though you, anyway, as though you are worth 10 spoons of salt. The Guyana Public Service Union should get out now. Call a nationwide strike, a general strike across this nation. Put the PPP on the back foot and cripple them because they are disrespectful to all public servants. Look at the condition of the hospital. Mr. Thomas was there yesterday to show all y'all. Look at the condition of the Mackenzie Hospital. And Priya is showing you how many schools they're building. She like that. Oh, we're building this school here, so we love teachers. They didn't show you the Kukwani school, the catwalk that fell, collapsed. It's a good thing students didn't go to school yesterday. Our school in Kukwani, the primary school, the whole catwalk, zinc, everybody came down. You know why? Because it is structurally improper. It is weak. Wisma Hospital, trash. Mackenzie High School, trash. Look around Linden, Wisburg, trash. Look at the Bartica. We have to have umbrella in a classroom. And this caring dunce tells y'all that she cares enough to build new schools. Leave the old ones as they are. We care. Look at Harmony Secondary School. Priya would not send her dog to Harmony. So I must say, I must hasten to say to you, PRI Manan, thank you for exposing your stupidity. Thank you for putting yourself in a checkmate position. Teachers, come on the street even more. Shout even louder. Stay even longer to prove to the whole world that you can't live without 1 week's salary. Or you cannot risk losing 1 month's salary. If you lose 1 month's salary, you'll be economically devastated, which proves the point that you have no disposable income. You have no savings to buffer you in case of a crisis, which means, or that proves, that you are underpaid. The only people in the world who cannot afford to lose 1 month's salary is a poor person. The only individual on this planet who cannot afford to live without being paid for a month is a poor person. If ever you cannot afford to live without being paid for 1 month, you're extremely poor. If you can't afford to live without being paid for 3 months, you are devastatingly poor. Now let's talk about Guyana's economy. And let PRI Manan come on this broadcast and tell you that there are 50% of our population can afford to do what I just said to you. 50%, 60% of Guyana's population, actually as high as 80% of our population cannot afford to live without 1 month of being paid. Ask the World Bank. They published it. You are that broke as a nation. But in reference to your worth, you are the wealthiest on the planet. And you'll have these demons, these mildew demons, got you cowering and being scared. Teachers, I stand with you 100%. They're disrespectful. Do you remember? Do you remember when Jordan stood in the House of Assembly? Jordan from Apnu FC, when he was Winston, whatever his name is, finance minister. And he said, this is on record. This is not hearsay. This is what you saw if you watched. He said, Jagdeo had a choice. Here now. He said, Mr. President, we can't raise your pay. That's when Green is only $2.5 million or more per month. Per month, not per year. And he said, Mr. President, we can't raise your salary. What this? Because Barra Jagdeo had a choice between being paid as the leader of the opposition or receiving his president's pension. And he chose the president's pension. Why, Barrett? Tell us why. Since teachers are so mean and evil and teachers are wrong for demanding, let's say, $400,000 a month or $250 a month, come to the table, Barrett, and tell us all why Jordan said you chose to take your president's pension, which is higher than that of a U.S. president. Would you come and tell us? You said it. You set the president's pension. You did. And Jordan stood in the House of Assembly and said that you had a choice between being paid what the official leader of the opposition would be paid, or you can receive what the president's pension is, and you chose the president's pension. Barrett, you have no shame. That's why you can't talk now at all. You said that the strike is illegal. And then Priya had the nerve. Checkmate again. Priya said that the PPP is known to be a law-abiding party. Now listen. Listen, man. Priya said that the PPP, the People's Progressive Party, is known to be a law-abiding party. Which is why they must have been law-abiding when they failed, the air finale, failed to constitute the Public Tender Board, the commission. Air finale had contracts signed in this country without there being a public procurement commission. He failed, but they abide by the law now. Air finale failed to constitute in this country the Police Service Commission, the Teaching Service Commission. Up until today, the law-abiding PPP has no judicial commission in this country. These sick dogs are telling you that they are law-abiding when the law dictates that there must be a judicial commission. Because you can't have a judge appointed, you can't have a magistrate appointed, there can be nothing happening in this country. Even the Ethnic Relations Commission cannot have a tribunal. And these pigeons will tell you. Pigeon Priya said that we are known, the PPP is known to be law-abiding. Well, which law do you abide by? I'm going to figure out what it is. Which one of the laws? You are law-abiding. So were you law-abiding, Priya? When you shouted rape in Parliament, because that is false accusation, it's actually illegal to do so. Were you law-abiding when you said that somebody was raping in the House of Assembly? Huh? Were you law-abiding when someone, whoever it was, went overseas and purchased a whole helicopter? The Bell 400 or 405, whatever it was. Somebody went and just went to one person. There was no tender process. You law-abiding. But somebody left the shores of Guyana with our money under their authority or committing to it. They went and sold source, meaning they just went to one spot. Oh, this helicopter, give it to me, gone. There are no quotations. You don't have quotations or pricing of 2 or 3 or 4 helicopters and say from among the 4 we choose this one. They went and just went to one person and bought and came back. And according to the report, it's someone your political people brother. You are law-abiding. Which law? Which law do you abide by, Priya Manikchand? Huh? If you are law-abiding, please tell us how you arrive at these arbitrary appointments in the Ministry of Education when they're supposed to be interviewed by the Public Service Commission and other entities. Can you tell us how people just wake up and be appointed as something by you, handpicked and positioned? But you're law-abiding? If you are law-abiding, how is it that Gaspar in Linden is the town clerk when he was never interviewed by the council? The law of Guyana, the Local Government Act, dictates that a town clerk has to apply for a position. Did he? According to the report of the PNC councillors, he didn't. And I find it very strange that the Mayor Sharma Solomon in Region 10 in Linden would lie. He should resign immediately if he says that Gaspar was just politically positioned. Huh? You are law-abiding, but yet for over 2 to 3 years, no contractor in Guyana had the means to approach the tender board, since there was none, to raise a complaint that he wasn't awarded a contract. You sick dogs, you tell me you're law-abiding, but there's no recourse for a contractor to go and say 2 years ago that the people who got the Harbour Bridge contract, they were wrong. I feel wrong because I should have got it. No contractor could have said that. No contractor in Guyana could have said that because there was nowhere to complain. But you're law-abiding? But now when it come to these teachers, you said that it is politically motivated. And that Coretta MacDonald, being, and I saw Saddam Hussein say that as well, that because Coretta MacDonald happens to be a member of parliament, she is behind this. It is politically orchestrated. So you mean to tell me that Coretta MacDonald, who is not a minister in government, could control more teachers than you? You're so dunce again, you're so stupid. Huh? You have no sense. You saying that Coretta MacDonald could, even in the PPP strongholds, influence teachers to come out and strike? Are you also suggesting that no one who stands in the House of Assembly or is a known member of a political party should serve in any union capacity because you need to bring Gau to the table? You hypocritical dogs, I will call her what you are. People are too nice to you. I call you exactly what you are. You are hypocritical dogs. Bring Gau head to the table now and tell me if he is a member of the PPP or a supporter, a known supporter of the PPP. Since Coretta, who is the general secretary of the GTU, is blamed, bring the head of Gau and put him on the table. Checkmate again. Because you don't think before you talk. I am oh so ready. Teachers, where y'all at tomorrow? Are we going back in Linden? Are y'all going down the road again? Are you before education office tomorrow? I was late today. I missed it. When I got to Linden, y'all were already gone. But where are we going? Come, teachers, let me hear. Give me the news. Please present to me the news because I want to go out publicly to make my voice heard in this matter. In reference to my support being lent to you. There needs to be a Guyana strike, not teacher strike. The whole of Guyana needs a strike because you're like sparse people. You are disrespectful rodents. That's what you are. You are all a number of disrespectful rodents. You all belong to rat holes, not society. You are law-abiding, and it's unlawful for teachers to go out to vent their frustration. Do you know what it's like for a female to go home, a teacher to go home? I had a talk with those in Harmony the other day. Because I spoke to them about how can you have a better version of yourself. And I discussed with these teachers, which I'll share with you publicly here. Do you understand the torture it is to a human being to be in front of a classroom knowing that when this bell rings or when the buzzer sounds, I'm going home to a house with nothing to eat? Or all we have is a half of a loaf of bread for the whole family for 2 days? Huh? Are you talking about teachers but lesson plan and journal? Do you know what it's like? To have to make a decision whether you put the diaper or you call a pamper on the baby tonight, or whether you're going to have him use a cloth until tomorrow when you send him to daycare. Do you know it's like premarital for a teacher to have to be telling the daycare owner, I'll pay you next week, or just give me some time, my mother's supposed to send some money from the SME, I'll try my best to give you some more money next week, or can you take half now because if I don't pay GPL, my light goes off? You don't have that experience because we pay for your light. We pay for your phone bill. All the videos you taken and the photos you taken PRI Manan, that's our phone. That's our money. That's our money sustaining you. And now you're threatening teachers that if they don't come out to class, you'll cut their pay. Boys, maybe I need to apply to teach again. Just for you. Maybe I should apply to go back to the classroom just to encounter you, Joseph Hamilton, and Keith Scott. I want you all to come down my road and tell me the kind of fool you're telling people right here. I bet when I'm done with you all, you would never say that again. You would never even utter those words again in your lifetime. I am prepared to always be an example. Because I know once I do it, there'll be hundreds or thousands who would say, one man did it before, and we're not afraid to do it again. So you could be disrespectful as much as you want. But you'll never be disrespectful for as long as you want. You have a 650,000, not 65,000. You have a 650,000 Guyana dollar bag on your shoulder and telling teachers that you like them. And they must not aspire to be that, because Guyana has to understand and appreciate. The sooner you do, the better you'll be. Guyana must appreciate the fact that Barra Jagdeo is creating a super society. It is an elitist clan. They want to be so lofty because by nature, Hinduism dictates classism. By nature and by religion, Hinduism dictates classism. You have to have classism in Hinduism. The closer you are, Mel, good to see you there, Hart. The closer you are to your God, the richer you are in Hinduism. That's essentially how they process. Now let that marinate. The bloodline of the PPP came from India. The top. That's where you came from. And because you came from there, within your DNA is classism. And because you came as the lowest of the lowest caste, you came as the nobodies. You were nothing. Because it was an arrangement made with y'all that if you come here, there's a contract signed. We, Africans, Hebrews didn't sign any contract. We were bought and sold. Your foreparents signed a contract because they wanted a better life. You know why? Because if they were middle class, they wouldn't come here for a better life. If they were upper caste, they wouldn't come here for a better life. If they were lower caste, they wouldn't come for a better life. They were nothing. And because the Hebrew man decided to fight against the white man, he said, okay then, we're going to empower. We shall empower the Indians, the indentured servants. We shall empower the Chinese. We shall empower the Portuguese to crush y'all economically. That is the history of this country. So the public servants who are predominantly Africans, we start from history in Guyana at an economic disadvantage because of slavery. Now, Irfan Ali the Don said that Africans, I didn't say that, so that's not racism, that's what Irfan said. Irfan said that Africans have been economically mistreated for centuries. I didn't say that. Ali said that. That Africans deserve, according to him, reparation. He got the word right the 10th time around. So if Africans deserve reparation, Irfan, what about African teachers in the school? Oh, so it's illegal for an African to say that I can't afford to live properly when the president said I can't. The president of my country said that I deserve more money from England. And everything is because I'm at an economic disadvantage. And yet you morons will say it's illegal for predominantly Africans to go on and say we want more money. Irfan, since you said on the BBC or the USA that, hey, I'm here because when you went to the UN, Africans deserve more and Africans deserve to be paid. What have you done in Guyana to show? Remember when the fact-finding mission came here and you said that you're boycotting them in Georgia because you said it's a political setup. Again, you say Roy Zilford set it up. Okay, well, now is your chance to show those in the USA that you are not discriminating and you are in no way maligning a part of society. What you're going to do, you're not marginalizing. What you're going to do is you're going to ensure that African descendants, ever since you uttered those words, Irfan, are being taken care of. What have you done? Is there an African descendant bank or fund in this country, Irfan Ali, with all of the billions of dollars that you've spent so far, Ashley Singh, by Jagdish's command? What have you done for the African people? Huh? What? You handpick a few of them and give them contracts, and that's what you call doing something for African communities? Huh? Is there any law, any article of law, any special law, a gazette? Listen, this has been ventilated in Parliament. Every African descendant in the public service will be granted for at least 5 years tax exemption. Have you done that, Irfan? Now remember you said that you said, Irfan, that African people are economically oppressed, or would have been for years, for centuries, for 400 plus years, and we deserve better. You said that. Now have you done anything? Have you ever once even instructed, because you can't instruct anybody, but let me just say it. Have you ever once instructed or uttered, Irfan Ali, that African descendants deserve to have at least 5 years of tax exemptions across the board? You bring in whatever car you want, whatever equipment you want, whatever house you want to buy, you have no tax to pay for 5 years. Give you what is called an economic jump start. Did you do that? No. What's your point? Oh, I get it. The income tax threshold has been increased. To what? Let me again show you how dogmatic, dog-like, dog-ish, dog-er PRIA is. These people are telling you that the income tax threshold has been increased. To what is it? 100,000 Ghana dollars now? Is that what it is? The threshold has been increased. To what? I think, come correct me, because I didn't pay too much attention to these morons recently. What was it? Is it 100,000 Ghana dollars? Tell me, please. Good. Okay. Thank you, Heinz. Thank you, Cassandra. So if the income tax threshold is $100,000, it means then that somebody who will be paid below that or above it. Watch this carefully. PRI Manan pocketbook over her shoulder, her Louis Vuitton, it's not Louis Vuitton, her Louis Vuitton, the bag, is 6.5 times more than a minimum wage worker's monthly pay. This unconscionable dunce, they never say, let me go pick up a $120,000 bag. Your pocketbook, your side purse is 500 times, 600.5 times more than somebody's whole salary in reference to the income tax threshold. And the teachers say, we don't want that. We demand better. And you say it's illegal to do it. My Guyanese brothers and sisters, in the teaching profession and in the public service, let me tell you, please, do what is now called illegal. Strike. To hell with the whole caboodle. To hell with the whole pack of them. Y'all need to strike en masse. The whole country, come out, down your tools and say, if you got the... And look how these people are so spiteful and sick. Peter Abakering, you need to understand. When they threatened, immediately they said that they will no longer have your dues, your union dues paid. These people are showing you that the underbelly, the underpinning of the PPP is spite, malice, bad mind, dirty heart, stink ways. They would immediately Like the typical abusers they are, who would box a woman in the street. They don't care. Remember that? Remember the current PPP Barry Ramsey told a woman that he would have her stripped and slapped? Remember that? Remember Dharmlal? Huh? You remember Dildo Dharmlal? Do you remember? Do you remember him? Right, right. The caring PPP, according to Priya's vernacular, care for them is, okay, as long as you don't know what we want, we'll destroy you immediately, because that is the nature of the PPP. So Priya's concept of care is that you either do what I say or I will abuse you. And that is how an abuser functions. If you don't do what I say, then I will destroy you. That is the heartbeat of the People's Progressive Party. Join us, or we say you're racist. Join us, or we say you're a sellout. Join us, or we give you no contract. Join us. Again, I say to you as I leave, the fact that PRI Manan, Joseph Hamilton and others could threaten as a means of having teachers return to the classroom to cut their pay is a sign that the teachers have proven their point, that they can't afford to live without being paid for a month. That is the testimony of a poor person. A wealthy man has generational wealth. PRI Manan, Bar Jagdi has no generation because he has produced no seed. You are a seedless being. You have no offspring. You are a loner in the earth. So you have no generational wealth to transfer to anybody. You have to leave something in your will for your dog, or your cat, or your goldfish. All that you do to people comes down to your last will and testimony. Your last will and testament being, I leave my house to Goldfish Trudy. So you have no understanding of what it feels like to be a parent. You have never even raised a standard, much less a son. So you have no clue about what it's like. Others, you are feeding your children so much KFC, Pizza Hut, Popeyes, and all the fancy food you give them, that you give them fat around their heart, and they look like constipated toads. And that's how you show how wealthy you are. So you don't understand what it is to care for a generation, indeed. Your issue with your child is that they are overfed. That's what doctors tell you. You politicians, your children are overfed. They're not malnourished. So when teachers are out there standing up and demanding better, it's because they feel it. And I feel for them. Hence, I will stand with them. This is not political bias. This is not biasness. This is just an order of life. I have a right to stand with those who suffer. It is unjust for a teacher in Guyana to have to plan a special occasion to go to churches. Not Marriott. When it's their child's holiday, they have to plan when to go to churches and buy a few pieces of chicken as a family. And that is a stretch. Because Grammy or grandfather or some uncle has to send money from overseas to a teacher in Guyana for them to afford a little party for a child. When Priya could pitch a tent and have a $2 million party, if possible. You could afford it. But a teacher in this country, even a head teacher, can't afford to go to Marriott for a dinner. Last night y'all had, or night before, y'all had one from, I think he's from Region 2. And he was there saying why he didn't strike, because his father was the head of the union. And so he didn't strike, because children mean everything, mean more to him. Look at his condition. Pot belly. Look at the one who came, who was on NCN being interviewed to show why he didn't strike. Two of them, he and a woman. But he was there sitting to say he didn't strike because children are ultimate. You are so... If children are most important to you, then by all means, the ones who teach them should be more important, dummy. Because if the people who teach them the wrong thing, the children would suffer. If those who have to teach them are under stress, what do you think will happen to the children? Huh? If children are most important to our society, then those who have responsibility for them should be even more important. That's how I view teachers. I believe, and I will say to you all the time, that if I have one chance I would have had to rule this country, to lead this nation, teachers in Guyana would be the highest paid public servants. Teachers, nurses. And I'll tell you why. Teachers have a responsibility that is beyond the norm. A teacher can teach your child the wrong thing, and your child can go through life believing that the wrong thing is right. There's no other profession that has the power over human mind. That's why prayer is so dunce. I need to see your teachers. Irfan Ali, you need to stop saying your mother's an English teacher. Irfan, you need to stop. By all means, your mother must call you and say, boy, stop saying I is a teacher. Please, you must never say your mother was an English teacher. Irfan, stop. Priya, you too. Teachers are the only people with the ability to mislead an entire generation in terms of information and misinformation, disinformation. And they can tell your child that something is wrong and teach it as though it's right, and the child believes that. That was the purpose of education, to control minds. The purpose of education is to control the mind into a herd system. And teachers have that power. Treat them well. Because you don't know what they can teach your child. Or not teach your child. Since you know common entrance is so important, you dummy parents, you dumb bats who argue the teachers should go out there. Since common entrance, National Grade 6 exam is so important, how about a teacher saying, since you want to spite me, I'll spite you and I'll teach your child nothing? What do you think happened to your child in the classroom? Will they go to QC since QC is heaven for y'all? Huh? Since CSEC is so important, what if a teacher says, okay then, since it's so important, I will guide you, essentially misguide you in your SBAs, and you fail them all. What happens to your grade? You want to play with teachers in this country? Huh? You don't play with that set of people. They must be among the highest paid public servants in the Caribbean. Our teachers in Guyana. I will also advocate for teachers to have 0 to 10% paid, 20% maximum on any vehicle they want to buy. Not on a 2000cc or 1500cc or 1300cc car. They must buy what they want, and they pay 0 to 20% duty on it. Not a dollar more. Any teacher in this country wants to start a house. If you have no house before, this is your first time builder as a teacher, you must receive from the state at least $5 million as a startup to build your house. That should be a law, because we have the money to do it. And you'll attract the brightest minds, because who in this country would say they don't want to teach when, you know, if you're a teacher and you've never built a house, The moment you're about to start your house, the state gives you $5 million as an award. You don't get it in cash. You can go to any hardware store. You have to prove by receipt you have this voucher, and you get $5 million to start your foundation, to start your house. How about that? Nurses, because you put your lives on the line, and doctors, medical staff, police officers, soldiers, you all have to be taken care of. But these dogs do not want to even speak to the union, because Jagdeo said he prefers to talk beyond your leaders. Remember it said about PNC? He goes straight, bypass the elected officials and goes straight to y'all. That's how disrespectful they are. Teachers don't tolerate it. Whenever they disrespect your union, they disrespect you. Stand and fight. And we are going to fight with you. Thank you so much. Be strong, be courageous. Do not quit. We are standing with you all. I advocate for us, businessmen and other people, let's bring water, juice, or whatever we can for teachers tomorrow. I ask you where you'll be, I'll find out anyway. If you be in Linden, by Education Department, we need to bring water and stuff to supply the teachers. We're standing with y'all. We're not quitting this time. Priya has to bow. Priya has to go, because she got no sense and she has no heart. Do well. Until we meet again. Bye.